Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So guys, today we are going to discuss something quite interesting. We are going to discuss signs that shows you're a toxic person. Yeah, the truth is that a lot of people are actually toxic, but they do not know. So first of all, we are going to discuss who is a toxic person. According to my dictionary, I wrote it down that a toxic person is a person who behaves negatively or whose behavior is harmful to people around them. A toxic person is a person whose behavior is harmful to people around them. Yeah, they display some kind of attitude or behaviors that puts them in a negative light. That people always know them as someone that is so toxic. They are toxic anywhere they find themselves. In fact, it's their daily behavior, their daily attitude. It's not something that you say maybe something just happened and that is why she's having a mood swing and she's flaming up, but someone that is a daily uh, behavior, daily attitude, they can just, shout at you at any slightest provocation. They can curse you, they can call you different names, a lot of things. We are going to look at those signs one after the other. Anyway, let me not go so deep into it yet. So we are going to take it one after the other. So a toxic person is someone that their behavior is so harmful to people around them. Everybody will just try to avoid them because they are so full of toxicity. So we are going to look at some of the signs that shows you are a toxic person. In case if you have these things, just know it that you are a toxic person. I know that some people might not really know that they are toxic, but as I'm going to mention now these things one after the other, you will know whether you are toxic or not. So one of the signs of a toxic person is when you always find it so difficult to apologize to people, even when you step on their toes. Yes, when you find it not necessary to apologize to people, you can afford to step on people's toes and you don't see it as anything good to apologize to them. You're always, instead of it to apologize, you will keep on giving reasons why, you should justify whatever action you took to hurt others. You don't see it as anything. You don't see that you have actually hurt someone. You feel that you did the right thing, even when you have stepped on their toes. You do not see it as anything serious. No, you're a toxic person. You should be able to apologize to people when you hurt them, especially when, yes, it may feel that you are to you, you have not hurt them. But if the person tells you that you've actually hurt me, what you did, I did not like it. What stops you from apologizing to the person if the person says he or she has been hurt by you? So it's not really a big deal for you to apologize. I am sorry. So you find out there are a lot of people who find it so difficult to use this word, I am sorry. But the truth is that this word can actually save a lot of things. It can actually settle a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of strife, a lot of fights between friends, between relatives, even in marriages. It can settle so many things. But a lot of people see it as a big deal to say, I am sorry. Even in marriages, you see couples, none of them is ready to say sorry to each other. It becomes a serious issue. So, if you're the type that find it so difficult to apologize to people after hurting them, you are a toxic person. Instead of you to apologize, you begin to justify yourself, give reasons why whatever you did was the right thing or the best action to take. Instead of you to apologize, you are a toxic person if you find it so difficult to apologize when you hurt others. So number two sign that shows you're a toxic person is when you rejoice over someone else's downfall. When you rejoice over someone else's downfall, you are a toxic person. Maybe because you don't really like the fellow. So if anything bad happens to the person, you start rejoicing. You start feeling so excited, so happy because maybe the person lost a job, the person lost a friend, the person lost a relative, and you're so happy because bad thing happened to the person. You're so excited, you're so happy. Yes, That she deserves it. That serves her right. That serves her right. She deserves it. It simply means that you're a toxic person. When you want someone else's downfall, maybe because you do not like the person, maybe because you had a misunderstanding with the person, maybe because the person is not so close to you, or maybe the person is not bowing to you the way you want the person to bow to you, and something bad happens to the person, and you just feel so excited, so happy for that thing that happened to the person. It simply means that you're a toxic person. It simply means that you're not a good person at all. It simply means that you can actually kill this person if you see the opportunity. So if you rejoice on someone else's downfall over someone else's pains, it simply means you are a toxic person, a serious one at that. So number three sign that shows you're a toxic person is when you always want to be the only one on top. When you always want to be on top every time, let every other person be under you. Once people are ahead of you, you get jealous, you get envious of them, you are not always happy because of that. You become so uncomfortable with yourself because people have gone ahead of you. You always want to be at the top and nobody else should pass you. It simply means that you're a toxic person. You are being so threatened by people rising. If anybody is rising above you, you become so threatened. No, it simply means that you are a toxic person. So toxic people don't really want others to go ahead of them. They don't really want others to be above them. They always want to be at the top. If they are not at the top, hell will let loose. They want to destroy everything. They want to go to any extent to bring that person down. That's a toxic person. So if you are being threatened by people's rising, if you always want to be the one on top and every other person should be below you, then you are a toxic person. Then number four signs that shows you're a toxic person is when you are abusive and manipulative. When you are abusive and manipulative, you can afford to abuse people anywhere. You can abuse people in the market, in your compound, in the streets, anywhere at all. You can abuse people, you can fight, you can blow people, you can kick people, you can slap people, you can do this, you can do that. It simply means that you're a toxic person. And when you also, try to manipulate people to, into doing what you want only, that means you're a toxic person. There are people like that, that they will always want to manipulate you into doing whatever they want. It's only what they want you to do. You can't do something else. You can't do what they don't want. They always want to manipulate you into doing whatsoever they want. And that is the only thing that can make them happy. So if you are such a person, you are a toxic person. If you are manipulative, if you are abusive, it simply means that you're a toxic person and you need to stop it by all means as soon as possible because it's a serious one. A serious one. So number five signs that shows you're a toxic person is when you allow your emotion to control you every time. Yes, when you allow your emotions to control you anytime, any little thing you just flip up, every little thing you just bounce on people, any little thing you can curse people, you can abuse people verbally, you can fight, you can do a lot of things. You can't just control your emotion as at all. Anything that hits you, that is the way you react. You don't just try to control your emotion a little, just calm down a little and think before you act. No, toxic people actually act before they think. That's the funny part of it. They act before they will start thinking, and by that time it's already late. So they allow their emotions to control them. They can't just sit down and process things before taking an action. As the thing they hit them, and so then they respond immediately, just the way it comes. So it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to process things before you take action. Don't always allow your emotion to push you into doing whatsoever that your emotion tells you to do. However, it lands, you just react exactly that way. No, most times you just have to allow your brain to process it process that particular thing before you now take action later, when you must have calm down. Not when the thing as they hurt, you just want to reply, you just want to bounce back on the person, you just want to respond to the person back, you just want to, fight back immediately. No, do not allow your emotions to control you. If you allow your emotions to control you, simply means that you're a toxic person, because people can actually, control you. Yeah, if they want you to fight, they can actually do know what to do to make you fight. You can fight in the market and you don't see it as anything. So people can easily control you without you knowing that they are controlling you, because they know you're kind of person, that you're a toxic person, you don't control your emotions. So they can actually do something that they will want you to, come out and fight and disgrace yourself in the street, because they know that is who you are, and they will always want to disgrace yourself outside there. So please learn how to control your emotion. If you are the type that they cannot control your emotion, it simply means that you're a toxic person. You can fight anywhere, you can do anything anywhere, and you don't think before acting. So it simply means that you lack emotional intelligence, and that is not good at all. So now we are going to look at how to stop toxicity. Yes. When you find out that you're a toxic person, how do you stop it? How do you come out of that toxicity as a person? We're going to look at some points that can help you come out of it, become a better person, not to be a toxic person anymore. So, number one thing that will help you to come out of toxicity is acknowledge that you have a toxic behavior. Acknowledge it first. The truth is that whatever you have not acknowledged, there is no way you can get a solution to it. So you must first of all acknowledge that you have it, you are toxic, and then you can look for a way out of it. So you need to acknowledge it first. When you acknowledge it, then as you move on, I'm going to tell you the other things you need to do in order to come out of toxicity. So acknowledge that you're toxic, and then you do other things that you're supposed to do for you to come out of toxicity. Accept it first. That's the number one thing you need to do. Then others can follow. So number two thing you need to do is identify the toxic behavior you display. Yes. Which area am I so toxic in? You need to identify these areas. What usually gets me angry? What usually gets me pissed off? Acknowledge those things, identify them, identify those areas. That what are the things that people do that just make me flare up without thinking twice, that makes me act without thinking. Just identify those areas, those things that makes you to flare up, those things that makes you to, want to fight, want to destroy things, want to that makes you to, you know, do some certain things that on a normal day you are not supposed to do. So you need to identify those things that brings up those toxicity behaviors in you. So you need to identify those things one after the other. That's the next thing you need to do after acknowledging it. Then identify those areas that you display those toxic or those toxic behaviors. Then you can continue from there. And for you to identify this, you need to be very intentional. Yeah, you need to be very, very intentional. If possible, use a paper and pen and put them down. These are the things that makes me to flare up. These are the things that gets me angry. These are the things that makes me to react. These are the things that makes me do this and do that. So write them down. Identify those things one after the other and put them down. Those things that makes you to flare up at any provocation, you just flare up unnecessarily, just put them down. Then you are on your way to solving the actual issue, which is toxicity in your life. So number three thing we are going to consider is deal with your past traumas. Yes, a lot of people act based on their past, what they have, experienced in the past. You see some young ladies, maybe because they had a kind of heartbreak in their past, someone hurt them, and they want to lash it on any other man that comes around them. They wouldn't want to take that again from any other man. So once another man comes around them, they will want to punish that man for what the other person did to them in the past. So you find out that it is their past that is controlling them presently. So you just have to let go of your past trauma, whatever that you have faced in the past that was not so palatable to you. Please let it go. Don't allow that particular thing to control your present relationship, your present actions and reactions. Please do not allow that past to control your daily activities or to become a part of you. Don't allow that particular past to control your activities as a human. No, you just have to let go of that past. So once you did this, it simply means that you are on the right track. If you can let go of that past, then you keep on moving. Don't allow things that you faced in the past to be the things or be the things that will determine your action presently. No, you just have to let go of them and keep on moving on. And with that, you can come out of toxicity. So number four thing we are going to look at is you need to practice self-awareness. Yes, self-awareness gives you the consciousness of your actions, reactions, activities. It tells you that no, I have promised myself I won't do this again. See, when you have a self awareness, you are telling yourself that I wouldn't want to fight again. I wouldn't want to react immediately things happen. I wouldn't want to act based on what I see. I wouldn't want to do this. I wouldn't want to do that. So when you have that self-consciousness, it will help you that even if anything comes up, you won't just react to it immediately because you've already given yourself a self-awareness that I'm not going to do that again. So whenever you want to act, you remember, "Ah, I told myself I won't fight again. I told myself I won't react this way. I told myself I won't do this, I won't do that." So it helps you control your actions, your reactions, your activities, your daily activities, your relationship. It helps you control things because you are already aware that you want to make a change. You are no longer comfortable with the things you do, the actions you take, the reactions you display. So it helps you a lot. So practice self-awareness. It gives you that consciousness that you are not supposed to do this. I promised myself I wouldn't do this. So you won't do that. So it helps a lot. It goes a very long way. So practice self-awareness. So the next thing we are going to look at is constantly assess yourself. Number five thing we are going to look at is constantly assess yourself. Look at yourself and say, since I've started doing this, since I've started doing that, since I have stopped doing this, since I've stopped doing that, is there a kind of positive change in my life, in my reactions, in my actions, in my activities as a human? Is there a kind of or is there a kind of positive change in my life since I stopped this thing, since I started doing this? So just allow it to, allow it to process in your mind. You think about it, whether there is a kind of positive change in your life since you started doing one, or is there a kind of positive change in your life? So that will help you to know whether you are on the right track or not. So when you constantly assess yourself, it helps you to know how far you have gone, whether there is any positive change in your life or not. If there is none, then you have to do better. If there is, then you keep on doing what you're doing. With time, you're going to come out of that toxicity. So number 6 point we are going to look at is allow people to give you feedback about yourself. Yes, give people the opportunity to give you feedback about yourself, about your activities, about your actions recently, about your reactions recently, about your behavior recently. Allow them to give you the feedback. Just as you assess yourself, you constantly assess yourself. Also allow people to give you feedback, what they have seen in your life, whether there is any kind of form of positive change in your life. Then hear what they have to say. And for you to do this, you need to meet people that are very close to you, that sees you, I think, every day. People that sees you every day, and someone that can actually tell you the truth. Don't go to somebody that will sugarcoat you and tell you what you want to hear. No, go to somebody that can actually tell you how it is. Just tell them, please tell me how it is. It will help me a lot. If I'm doing well, fine. If I'm not doing well, then I need to improve more. I need to do more work. So allow people to tell you or give you feedback about yourself, about your current behavior, whether you are moving forward or not. So it will help you and give you, an idea of what to do. So allow people to give you feedback about your current behavior, your current actions. Then you know what to do from there. Then number 17 we are going to consider is learn to give yourself time. Yes, learn to give yourself time. Changes is not something that will just happen overnight. No, it takes process, it takes time for you to change, for you to stop that toxicity behavior, attitude. You need to take your time and do that. So for you to change is not something that will just happen overnight. It takes some processes, it takes some time for you to, so don't be hard on yourself. Just take it easy on yourself, and before you know it, you are gradually dropping some of those things you used to do, some of those behavior, attitude you used to display. You will start dropping them one after the other. You won't just drop them all of a sudden overnight. No, it doesn't work that way. So give yourself time. Don't mount pressure on yourself. Just take it easy on yourself and continue working on your attitude, on your behavior, on your character. And before you know it, you are out of any form of toxicity. So guys, this is where we are ending it for today. Please do remember to subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share this video. And bye for now.